But it's also possible that President Trump really means no. The Palestinians of Gaza have forfeited their right to live there. They've been offered peace deals for 80 years, and they never accepted it. They built a terror empire, and they launched a genocidal attack against Israel. And President Trump might be saying, enough. No, you have forfeited your right to live there.
Donald is coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza.
Okay, now, I want you to see some clips of how various mainstream legacy media outlets, TV networks, have covered this, because Trump is on a no-huddle offense. He just keeps plowing forward with idea after idea, policy proposal after policy proposal, executive order after executive order. He's got this plan. Nobody in the Middle East knows how to process it. Take a look at the firestorm that he's created. And it's like the heads of the anchors and others in the legacy media, it's like they're spinning on their axis. They don't know how to deal with Trump. They're super snarky, super critical. Take a look.
Many people see it as highly offensive. It's an AI-generated video showing what appears to be the president's vision or someone's vision for Gaza as some kind of glamorous beach resort. It features the president, Elon Musk, the Israeli prime minister. Of course, Gaza is in the midst of a humanitarian catastrophe. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed. Do we have any idea why the president would post something like this right now?
The AI video was criticized by people living in Gaza who saw it, saying the images did not include its current inhabitants.
Suddenly, while I was checking my mobile phone, I found that Trump, the President of the United States of America, published a video that he wants to rebuild Gaza after displacing its people. So we are asking him, why displace its people? Why doesn't he come? Welcome, come and rebuild Gaza with its people in it. Its people can rebuild it. He can pay money, fix things, and free us from this occupation.
The video is bizarre, some would say outright offensive. A 30-second AI-generated clip shared on President Donald Trump's own social media accounts. It appears to show his vision for the future of the enclave, somehow turned from a war-torn region into a golden paradise. This video appears to show what that scheme looks like in President Trump's own mind, and it is shocking. You have money being thrown up in the air, casinos filling the beaches of Gaza, a stark contrast to what's on the ground, and then the real kicker, Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump lounging, enjoying the AI-generated luxury of it all.
Trump's video landed with a thud.
We have lived through hell, 500 days and genocide and displacement and poverty and horrible conditions that even the animals couldn't handle it. And after that, he's coming to control Gaza? No, we're not going to let you. We're not going to accept that. We will fight you.
Okay, so what's really being said here? What's really being said is that Trump is saying, look, you guys don't have a plan. So I'm coming up with a plan. And I think, this is Trump speaking, I think that the only safe and fair and compassionate way to rebuild Gaza is to move everybody out of harm's way, right? That's 2 million people, roughly. And Trump has said, well, let's move some to Jordan. Let's move some to Egypt. He said, we can move them to other places. I've been told by a senior Trump advisor, some could be moved to Syria, other countries. He's not saying it has to be this amount in this country, but everybody in the Arab world is saying no. Very interesting. They don't have a plan, but they're rejecting and resisting Trump's plan. Now, complicating this is that Trump was asked by Bret Baier on Fox News, can the Palestinians come back, the Palestinians of Gaza, come back to Gaza once you've made it beautiful again, once you rebuild it? Take a look at this soundbite.
Would the Palestinians have the right to return?
No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them. Because if they have to return now, it'll be years before you could ever, it's not habitable. It will be years before it could happen. I'm talking about starting to build, and I think I could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt. You know, we give them billions and billions of dollars a year.
Okay, now that's super controversial. Does he mean he's going to really take ownership of Gaza and take the moral authority and responsibility to fix Gaza or rebuild Gaza? Yes, I believe he means it. I actually believe he means it. Does President Trump mean that he's going to move 2 million Gazans out and never let them come back? That I'm not sure about. Okay? And the question is that a negotiating tactic with the Arab world, and particularly with the Saudis, or does Trump actually mean it? And if he means it, he might be setting into motion Bible prophecy. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Let's first consider the possibility that Trump has done what he does in so many areas of negotiation. Trump's approach to the art of the deal, right? The famous book that he published back in the 1980s and was a huge monster bestseller. The art of the deal concept is lay out an extreme, what people think is an extreme position, so that the person you're negotiating with says, whoa, 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 why would you do that? No, that's crazy. Then the counter offer back to Trump is something so much more bold than that person or the entity would have thought to say yes to and even consider. But they're so determined to stop the extreme version from happening, they offer a much bolder proposal. And Trump says, fine, I'll take it. It's fantastic. Let's do it. Right? We saw that with Canada and Mexico, right? Trump comes into office. He says, I'm going to put a 25% tariff on next Tuesday, I'm going to put 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico if you guys don't clean up your act, get serious about a much better trade deal and take care of the border and stop all this illegal immigration and all the fentanyl traffic into our country. And, Canada and Mexico freak out. But then they come up with a deal, a counteroffer, and Trump's like, fine, I'll take it. And it was much more than they expected. Same thing with Panama. So what we've seen is Trump likes to put out what looks like, I'm not sure if it's fair to say it's an extreme marker, but it looks like an extreme proposal. So is it possible that Trump is saying to the Arab world, look, you guys have done nothing. You've come up with no plan. You've offered no money. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to move the 2 million Palestinians out. You guys are going to house them. You're going to pay for it, and you're going to pay for the rebuilding of Gaza. I'll oversee it, but you guys will pay, and the Palestinians can never come back. That's what's been said. Now the question is, are the Saudis, the Emiratis, the Jordanians, the Egyptians are going to come back and say, okay, we're glad you want to take ownership of Gaza, and we're glad that you want to help us figure this all out. And we're willing to take some Palestinians for a while it's rebuilt, but you got to let them back in. We can weed out the terrorists and arrest them or, exile them, but you got to let people back in. And if they're all willing to do that and pay for it, Trump might say yes. And this might be the resolution to the problem of Gaza so far. But it's also possible that President Trump really means no. The Palestinians of Gaza have forfeited their right to live there. They've been offered peace deals for 80 years, and they never accepted it. And in fact, 20 years ago, in 2005, Israel actually gave all of Gaza to the Palestinians of Gaza. Israel withdrew all its troops, all of its soldiers, all of the civilians, even dug up Jewish graves out of Gaza and left and said, and then Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, the Israeli Prime Minister, said to the people of Gaza, go build a Palestinian paradise. You guys have beachfront property on the Mediterranean. You have trillions of cubic feet of natural gas off your shores. You're smart, industrious people. Stop fighting with us. We're not going to occupy you. Take the land and build a Palestinian paradise. They didn't do it. They elected a genocidal terrorist organization, Hamas. They built a terror empire, and they launched a genocidal attack against Israel. And Trump might be like, President Trump might be saying, enough. You have forfeited your right to live there. That's possible. Now, I don't have time tonight to get into the whole biblical prophecy side, but we're going to put that on YouTube, okay? There's a serious possibility here that Trump, without knowing about it, without having ever read the book of Zephaniah in the Old Testament, may actually be bringing Zephaniah chapter 2 to fruition. what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is that in Zephaniah chapter 2, the ancient Hebrew prophet says that in the last days, before the tribulation, before the great day of the Lord, Gaza is going to be abandoned, meaning all of its residents are going to leave, and then Gaza is going to be handed back over to Judah. That's one of the tribes of Israel. Could that be what Trump is setting into motion? I don't know. But for a more detailed explanation, go to our YouTube channel for a much more detailed explanation, and I'll walk you through that prophecy. It's super interesting.